There is an exercise I always conduct with my students during my pre-retirement seminars. The objective of the exercise is to ascertain the level of poverty and financial dependence among retirees. Most unfortunately, the results I have from all the exercises I've had in all my pre-retirement seminars confirm the fact that most retirees are poor and financially dependent. There are some video clips I want you to watch on the exercise, and they were extracted from some of my pre-retirement seminars. I am very confident that watching these video clips will help you to understand what I'm talking about better. I will be back after the video clips.
Okay, let we all be on our feet. The little exercise. Let's us all be on our feet. The only people I want to remain standing are those whose parents are still alive. Okay, those who are standing, if the person you have the mind for standing is less than 60 years, I want you to sit down. It's very unlikely. Okay? Those who are seated, if you have an uncle or an auntie who is up to 60 years, I want you to stand up. Join them. You have an uncle or an auntie who is up to 60, I want you to join them. I'm still sitting. If there's anybody you know, be it a friend or an uncle or a distant relation or even a pastor who is somebody you know who is up to 60 years, please join them. I want us to have a full class. There's nobody you know who is up to 60 years. Is it possible? No, who is up to 60 years old? Please stand up. Okay? Now, look around, look at yourselves. Almost enough. Those here face those here, then those here face here. Those here face. I want you to see yourselves very well. Are you looking at yourselves? Okay. If the person you have in mind for standing up still needs any financial assistance from anybody, either partly or fully, he still needs some financial assistance either from the children or from anybody, either to eat or to pay the bill of where he lives or for feeding or whatever, please sit down. Okay, how many people are still standing up? Yeah? Okay, please, there's a little exercise on our feet. There's a little exercise I want us to perform. I want to remain standing as those whose parents are still alive. If your mother, father and mother, they are still alive, I want you to remain standing. While other either groups, either or groups. If your father and mother are still alive, okay, please let's take this very seriously. Then some of us may have grown up as orphans. So maybe you had a guardian or somebody who was there to take care of you while you were growing up. If you have somebody like that, can we see you on your feet? Can you join them? Look at yourselves. Even those who are sitting, also take a very close look at them. Please, if the person you have in mind for standing up at his age can still take care of himself without any financial assistance from anyone, I want you to remain standing while others will sit down. The person you have in mind does not need any financial assistance from anyone to take care of himself. So we observe that from all the people who stood up, only one person passed the examination.
Oh, welcome back. Did you get any message from the exercises? Let me tell you something about what you just watched. The first video clip was during my pre-retirement seminar in a state police command in southeastern Nigeria. The participants were the employees of Nigeria Police Force. The students consisted of area commanders, divisional police officers, that is DPOs, divisional crime officers, that is DCOs, heads of departments in the state command, DTOs, admin officers, and so on. The participants consisted of the most senior police officers in the state command. The participants of the seminar were a little above 100. The second video clip consisted of the most senior police officers in a state police command in southwestern Nigeria. This also consisted of area commanders, DPOs, divisional police officers, heads of departments, divisional crime officers, DTOs, admin officers, and so on. It was also attended by the most senior police officers in the state command. Now, let me explain to you what happens during the exercise. I tell all the students in the class to be on their feet. Then I tell those whose parents are still alive to remain standing while others should be seated. For the people in the class, if the father or the mother or both are still alive, you have to keep standing for as long as they are not below the age of 60. Many of them will be seated because they've lost their parents. I tell them that if they have any uncle or auntie or brother or sister or in-law or relation or anyone they know who is up to 60 years old, they should also stand up. The rule for the exercise is that the person you have in mind for standing up should be well known to you. The second is that the person must not be below the age of 60. The reason I use 60 is that 60 is the official retirement age in Nigeria, and the seminars were conducted in Nigeria for Nigerians. All the people the attendees of the seminars have in mind for standing up must not be less than 60 years old. Now, in the last part of the exercise, I tell the students, if the person they have in mind for standing up still requires any financial assistance from anybody, either partly or fully, to meet their financial challenges, they should sit down. You saw what happened yourself. In the first video clip, all the students in the class were seated when I said that. What that means is that not even one of them has a parent who is still financially free. All the elderly, uncles, aunties, brothers, relations, and friends they had in mind for standing up have all lost their financial freedom. In the second video clip, you saw it yourself, only one person was left standing in a class of also about 100 participants. The results I got from all the other pre-retirement seminars I've organized in other places for public servants, in private organizations, in churches, the results of all the exercises are also the same. They lend credence to the fact that most retirees are poor and financially dependent. As a matter of fact, research findings from experts show that over 95% of our retirees have lost their financial freedom and are now poor and financially dependent. Do you understand what I said? Research findings from experts show that over 95% of retirees have lost their financial freedom and are now poor. In other words, most workers lose their financial freedom immediately they become retirees, irrespective of their incomes during their working years. But my dear friend, this is not where the problem is. The research also shows that over 90% of people who are working today will also retire poor. The research also shows that over 90% of people who are working today will also retire poor. And you may not even be an exception to that. If I'll ask you, How many years have you been working? For the years you have worked either as an employee or as an employer, either as an employee or as an entrepreneur, what do you have to show for these years? It is very disappointing that when you get close to most workers who are very close to retirement, you will realize that most of them have nothing tangible to show for the decades they worked. And this is why most of them retire poor. One of the objectives of this program is to help you to avert this future calamity. It is very painful and disappointing that most workers are ignorant of the financial doom that lies ahead of them. Most workers are heading towards poor retirement, but they are not even bothered about it. Workers have limited years to work before their retirement, but they have no reliable retirement plans they can depend on when their working years are over. And most of them are not even conscious of the dangers that lie ahead of them. This is why this program will not only help to sensitize you on the challenges of retirement years if it occurs unprepared, but will also give you adequate information to make effective, reliable, and dependable preparation for your retirement. A survey that was conducted recently shows that over 30% of civil servants die in less than 5 years after their retirement. Over 30% of civil servants die in less than 5 years after retirement. This indeed is not a finding to celebrate because it's very disappointing. When I say that over 90% of people who are working today will retire poor, one of the implications of that is that just as the past generation of workers who today consist of our parents, uncles, aunties, and so on, just the way they are financial burdens to people who are working. When those who are working today become retirees, they will also become financial burdens to their children. So, just the way our parents, uncles, aunties, and aged relations call to request financial assistance, that is also how most people who are working today will all be doing to the younger ones when they become retirees. So it's really not something to celebrate.